Daredevil's the name. Distraction's my game. And if I don't make it, it's been a real slice of heaven, gang. Hang loose, heroes.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plots, synopsis, and character bios. For this issue, we are continuing our run of Daredevil by Frank Miller, and today we are looking at Daredevil number 180 from 1981. I do have a playlist. Feel free to check them all out if you are so inclined. Great cover by Miller. He's a simple writer, and he does simple beautifully. So, hell isn't hot, it's cold, and you see here the queen, she didn't please me, so she's dead. So he chokes this lady here. It's a cold and damp and foul, and if their stomachs didn't hurt, its inmates wouldn't know that they aren't quite dead. And so he goes, "Who's gonna be my new queen? You're a pretty one," as he points at her. They shove closer together. They kneel on sores and blisters. Oh, Miller. Oh. As I mentioned, he's just so good at it. It's unbelievable how talented he was so early on. What's this? A ring? A shiny wedding ring? And he takes it off. By the way, it's on the wrong finger. "It's mine now." And they worship their king. "You are mine, body and soul." Stanley presents The Damned. Miller, story and art. Janson finished art and colors. Miller was basically working layouts, is essentially. So it's funny that he gives himself the story and art when all he was doing was layouts here. All right. And so, high above, life goes on, and so does crime. And so Daredevil is listening in here, and he thinks here, "Let's see, or better yet, let's smell, sniff. Printer's ink mixed with sweat." And notice he has, he's wearing a, oh goodness gracious, a cast. Oh God, I don't know why I was struggling with that here. Anyway, and he continues here. "Add to that the rustling of the thick paper, and you've got money. Throw in 3 racing heartbeats mix as well, and you've got nervous desperados. Good. Old hypersenses. I may be blind, but I get by." A wonderful vertical panel by Miller. Him and McFarlane do this the best. And so, 50 for me, 50 for Grotto, 50 for Zeke, 50 for me, 50 for... You're forgetting somebody, Turk, the Kingpin. "Nuts, why cut him in? You know the score. He runs the mobs. He gets a cut." And so Turk is like, "So we skip his cut this time. What's he going to do about it?" And so they look at each other and then looks over here. 50 for the Kingpin, 50 for me, 50. And suddenly Daredevil breaks through the glass. "Oh no," says Grotto. And so Daredevil, "Me, I give up." This guy here. "Sounds like a good idea to me." "Turk, shut up, Grotto. Ain't you heard? Couple weeks back, Didi got his foot stuck in a bear trap. He's a gimp." And so he pulls out the gun, but Daredevil hits him with the crutches here. That's just funny. "Ain't no gimp taking me." Oof, as he hits him here. Never learned, does he? "How about you, Grotto? You've gotten smarter?" And he goes after him, but Daredevil gets him. "Guess not." And this guy here. "Me, I'm smart, real smart, regular Einstein." And so here it says later, "That lady assassin beat up Daredevil, and then she went after you. Wow, must been exciting." "Scary is what it was, kid. I thought I was dead. Spent 2 weeks breathing through a tube and thinking about how stupid it was for a second-rate reporter to play hero." "You mean," says the other guy, and then Ben Urich interrupts him. And I love the color. Absolutely love the color. Yeah, as soon as I got back to the office, I took the assassin's advice and spiked the Cherry story. But it's supposed to be real important, isn't it, Mr. Urich? If Cherry wins the election, New York, uh, Ben Urich finishes the sentence here. New York will have a gangster for a mayor. Tough. It's not my fight. Not after what I've been through. Then why develop the pictures? And he says, I sell them to Jameson for inventory. I can use the bucks. Nice shot of the Kingpin here. And Cherry, and then the guy asks, who's this? And then he takes off his glasses, kind of looks. Just a bag lady who seemed to have a thing for the Kingpin. Might as well toss. Wait a second. That almost looks like, nah, it couldn't be. Kid, run down the hall and get me my Kingpin file now. And we can see here that they're using not screen tones, but dual tones and dual shading and that kind of stuff here. So, and that's what Klaus Janson is employing here beautifully. I used to think, when I was young, I used to think that they drew in all these lines. I had no idea how these things were made. And so, if you ever want to know what zipitones and dual tones are, there is, look it up on YouTube. And Cartoonist Kayfabe actually had a great video that shows you about that. So, anyway, it says, soon. Would have thought you had other ways of getting around at times like this, like a Daredevil or something, and laughs. Well, here we are. So, another vertical panel. Miller just impresses with how creative he gets these vertical panels here. No way I'm collecting a fare on Daredevil. And he says, I thank you. My foot thanks you. And he says, you kidding? Wait till I tell the guys, hey, you don't have to take the subway. I'd be happy to. And he says, no, that's okay, really. And so he talks with Urich here and says, this is where you followed her? And Ben says, yeah, right down this abandoned stretch of track. And so Daredevil asks, you sure it's her? And Urich says, no, but the resemblance is there, and they never did find her body, you know? And Daredevil says, I know, but I hadn't even hoped that after all these months, the Kingpin's wife might still be alive. So we get the confirmation that that was Vanessa. And so Daredevil continues here. For years, his love of Vanessa was all that held the Kingpin back. But then that building collapsed around her. And Urich says, and he's been upping the crime rate ever since. That pipe looks promising, he says. And Urich says, you think if we find her, the Kingpin will go straight? And Daredevil says, no, that really doesn't matter. And Daredevil continues here. She was the innocent victim of a deadly power struggle. I have to find her. And there's another reason I might be able to. And then he says, shh. And Urich says, I wasn't saying anything. Movement around this pipe. We are being watched. Real quick, before I continue on, the Daredevil series, which is really good. I really enjoy it. I think used Vanessa Fisk more in the Brian Bendis when he redid when he did his stint on Daredevil. I think that he had Vanessa kind of an equal to Fisk. So I think that's what the show went for. But in Miller's doing of Daredevil, she was not into the mob. So, all right, Urich and Daredevil are whispering. Lots of rats down this deep. And Daredevil says, rats don't have human heartbeats, Ben. Okay. Hey, look at check this out, Matt. Pipe goes straight down, maybe 100 feet, and it's lit. And Daredevil says, warm too. Really feels cold to me. I'm going down there. You're going home, he says. So, all right. And so we see Daredevil. Nice color holds here for his shadow. going down and tossing himself. And Ben thinks, "Be careful, Matt. Be very careful, because even though I'd get to write the story of your secret identity, if you were put out of action, I'd rather you weren't. Hey, what's a Pulitzer Prize between friends anyway?" And you can see here he was being he was being followed, and he turns around, and here come these creatures here. The not creatures, but these people here, and they attack Ben. And so the Midtown offices of Nelson and Murdoch, and Jonah says, "We cannot substantiate the charges made in recent editions of our newspaper against Randolph Winston Cherry." And so it says here, and with these words, J. Jonah Jameson, publisher of the Daily Bugle, today retracted his claims that Councilman Cherry's campaign was sponsored by organized crimes. With 5% of the election returns, Cherry is now leading in every district. And so Rebecca here, she says, "Then I guess it's all over. I'm sorry, Foggy. You and Mac worked so hard defending the Bugle." And Foggy says, "Sure we did, and we might have won it, Becky. We're good lawyers, the best, but you can't defend a client who folds on you." And so, nice use of backgrounds here, and nice here, and this coloring looks really good here. Thing is, there's more at stake than the reputation of Nelson and Murdoch. If the people elect Cherry tonight, they'll be handing this town to the mobs, and they won't even know it. "Where is Matt anyway?" asks Foggy. And Becky says, "I don't know. I tried him at home." And Foggy says, "Funny how he does that, just ups and disappears for days at a time. Sometimes I wonder." And so far below, you see this person. It's gone, being burned. Oh my goodness gracious. And, oh no, just on the fire. Sorry, not being burned. "It's gone, just like that, it's gone." And Daredevil says, "What do you mean? Can't you see? You blind? My legs, the monster bit it off and ate it, and now it's gone." And Daredevil is like, "What the hell?" And he gives her his crutch, and now he kind of hops, and she laughs. Goodness gracious. And so Miller continues, "He's not like them. He doesn't belong here. He's strong. He's alone. He isn't scared." And here you can see he's about to get attacked. Doesn't fight either. Just folds up and lets them have him. So that's his plan, so that they take him to their leader. Maybe he does belong here after all. Maybe he's just as lost and hopeless and crazy as they are. Only a crazy man would want to go to hell. And so this is the guy that is Cherry's opponent. "I haven't lost yet. I won't concede until I have." And so the reporter says, "It was a stunned, astonishing major who refused to concede tonight's election. Despite what appears to be a landslide victory for Randolph Winston Cherry, but it's a victory that is overshadowed by lingering doubts among experts who fear that Cherry will not serve the best interests of the people." And Kingpin, while he's smoking here, I love the smoke here, "Indeed, it is I who he shall serve." And so Kingpin continued, "By night's end, I will not only be Kingpin of the city's underworld, but its government as well. Nor will your contribution be ignored, Elektra. As my chief assassin, you were instrumental in pressing the Bugle to abandon its crusade. I shall retain your services." And I love the screen tones being applied. I am a screen tone kind of person here. You can even see it on the eyes. And so we got a double page spread, and Daredevil is brought before the king, and you see Vanessa here and all the people clamoring for him. And he sees Vanessa, and so he wants to go try to grab her, and of course they have Ben, and Ben says, "I think we're in trouble, DD." And so he gets them both here. Very, very typical 80s here. And the king says, "He was just a baby when I found him, just a pet up there. Somebody flushed down here, down their toilet. So I fed him and he got big. Been a while since he ate last. I bet he's real hungry. So they're talking about an alligator or a crocodile, most likely. Now, here's the thing: the water, it's a nice story, and I know a lot of people thought that in the 80s that there were alligators in the New York sewers, but there's not. You know why? Because it's filthy down there. It is, they would die. It is not appropriate for any animal. No animal would survive in a sewer. So, um, and rats may scurry and stuff, and it's different. A crocodile or alligator is not in the sewers. But, uh, and so the king says, might as well start him off with a little appetizer. And of course, he's got that person that he helped, and he kicks her down here. And so she falls into the filthy water. And Daredevil goes, or thinks, that smell, blood. And nice color hold here. Oh. And suddenly it snaps. And down they go into the filthy water. Ugh! I would want to be eaten by the crocodile before. Oh, that water. Oh, just thinking about it. Oh, touching the lips and yuck. And so, why do they always put heroes in the sewers? There is this story that I've covered, Batman, the Cult, and it mostly takes place in the Gotham sewer. Ugh, disgusting. I was grossed out the entire time, but all right. So, and he's got his mouth open. Oh, all right. So he gets away, and the crocodile's gonna try to eat Ben, who has his eyes open. Oh, disgusting. So, the crocodile. Oh, do you know how many? Oh, do you know how many diseases? Goodness gracious, they're all gonna die of something. And so Daredevil grabs the crocodile here and shuts his trap. And Ben's gonna try to get up, and he does, and thinks of Matt. And everybody looks, and the king smiles, and still nothing. And Daredevil comes out, and he walks to the king and hits him. The king then whacks him with the bat here and attempts to hear. Daredevil moves out of the way. Miller's so good at coordinating these fights here. He choreographs them beautifully here. So he hits him, he elbows him, he grabs Daredevil. Daredevil then gets ready to hit him with his the back of his head, and then kicks him with his bad leg here, grabs the bat here, and decks him with it and knocks him down. And so she takes the ring, gives it to Daredevil, and she says king, and everybody says king, 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 king. So now we're back, and Cherry says, and let me assure the good people, the great people of New York, I will discharge my duties of this office with passion, and together we will make New York City the spearhead of this era of national renewal. And with that, Randolph Winston Cherry accepted the mandate of the people of New York City and enjoyed the greatest landslide victory in the city's history. And Kingpin is sitting or at his desk, and Daredevil tosses him the ring, and he looks at it and says, Vanessa. And he says, she's alive. I have her. And he covers his eyes here, and you can see a tear coming down, and he says, what do you want? And Daredevil says, Cherry. And so it says here, 3 hours later, it is with a profound regret, shame that I must withdraw from, and then he goes, not accept the office of mayor. The charges made against me, they're true, all of them. My conscience just wouldn't let me. I'm sorry. And so this guy says, you heard it here first. Randolph Cherry has given up the office of mayor. More on this as it develops. And Kingpin says, Cherry followed orders to the end. I cannot allow this serious defeat to pass without some gesture of retribution, however small. Someone must die. And he says, it cannot be Jameson. Too much danger of public backlash. Nor can it be the lawyer Murdoch. He has defended him several times. It is my wish to avoid so costly a conflict. But Murdoch has a partner, an unimportant man who few will miss and none will defend. And so he shows them the picture here. Your next assignment, Elektra, you shall eliminate Franklin Nelson. Next issue, Last Hand. So Elektra is going to try to kill Foggy. Whoa. Daredevil 180 by Frank Miller with Klaus Janson. Oh, this series is so good. So I'm so glad to be covering it. It's so nice to be able to remember all these things. I have not read these in forever. So yeah, I really enjoy this. I hope you guys are digging it. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.